The world's great cities face threats they have never before encountered. New York, Tokyo, London, Miami. The threats come from the sea, from above, and from below. These are the problems and their solutions. For when the water comes.
London has a population of 8 million people, and the initial system was designed for 4 million people, so it's actually doubled over the course of, you could say, 125 years. If London stops functioning and London is flooded, this country, as far as you know it, will stop functioning.
While the Thames is widely thought of as London's river, it's actually part of a 215-mile-long series of tributaries and wetlands throughout southeastern England. The Thames flows east from Greater London into the North Sea, 50 miles away.
Poor people just had no chance. 59 people lost their lives on Canvey Island in that terrible, terrible evening, but 309 people along the whole east coast of the UK.
160,000 acres of land were inundated across the UK. The damage was the equivalent of nearly $2 billion today. But it could have been even worse for London. And the city decided to act.
That was the foundation as to why London should be protected. The flood was quite severe, and they realized that if we carry on in this fashion in the future, we won't be able to protect ourselves from this ongoing problem of a tidal surge leading to the riverbanks overtopping and actually flooding the floodplain all the way down to central London.
For 3 decades, the barrier has kept the city safe from storm surges.
The Thames Barrier has been designed for a 1 in a 1,000-year event. What that means is that there's a 0.1% chance of London being flooded as a result of that barrier. That is why it works.
But while it's been doing its job of keeping London dry, the climate has been changing. So now the Thames Barrier faces a new challenge.
The barrier was designed in the 60s. Climate change, global warming weren't phrases in the dictionary then.
The designers of the barrier had planned for higher sea levels, not because of rising seas, but because southeast England is literally sinking at a rate of 1.5 millimeters, or a 1/16 of an inch, per year.
The designers and engineers who crafted the barrier made their best estimation and calculations to factor in sea level rise in the future. Not thinking of it in the context of climate change or adaptation, but recognizing that the geological formation underneath the southeast in London is sinking. Their appreciation of geology more than the appreciation of climate change is what led them to put in effect an 8 millimeter factor of safety every year into the design of the Thames Barrier. If you have a rising sea level, in addition to land mass that is sinking, that's a quite interesting combination. The current sewer system was constructed in the late 19th century. It was designed principally to service 4 million people. And because of the way sewer systems are built, it's very difficult to retrofit them and upgrade them over time.
A fail-safe is a backup mechanism for when a system doesn't work. And in the case of London's flooding sewers, the fail-safe was overflow into the Thames. This unsanitary solution of the Victorian era still happens today, and it's a major health problem London urgently needs to fix.
So you have sewage going directly into the Thames, you have water quality going down, and at the same time you have all the water runoff, in order for it not to flood or to be backed up in the system, actually going directly into the River Thames. So that happens 50 times a year.
One goal of the Tideway Tunnel is to upgrade this antiquated system and ensure raw sewage no longer gets into the Thames by diverting the contaminated overflow to upgraded treatment facilities.
The Tideway Tunnel is London now getting its act together and trying to find a way to deal with this old sewer system. It's a tunnel 25 kilometers long, which lies across the London basin of the Thames. Its function is to allow for all the water runoff that comes from the drainage systems, in addition to the sewage, to be discharged into the sea. It's so expensive now to dig underground in London. People are put off because of the price tag. So in the future, unfortunately, we'll be forced to use it whether we like it or not, whether we like the price tag or not.
The Tideway Tunnel is projected to be finished in 2023. Meanwhile, London has other mega projects planned for the Thames.
The T2100 is looking at improving all the flood defences along the Thames estuary to improve both the riverbank, the embankment, the flood walls, and the sea walls and the coastal defences that are in the estuary itself, to then allow the barrier to carry on functioning until 2080, where the idea is that they will want to build a second Thames barrier. SUDs are good, but they're a soft solution. The difficulty sometimes is that if you have a flash flood incident and it rains and there's a large amount of rain in a short period of time, that in itself becomes an impervious surface. SUDs aren't able to deal with that type of water runoff, whereas a sewerage system can, specifically the
Innovative
Tideway Tunnel.
infrastructure and new ways of living to enable our cities to grow.
So right now, the biggest challenge is to let planners, policymakers, the people who make decisions understand that we have to actually streamline these systems so they can function as one. And I think that alone is a big challenge of what London needs to do to move into the 21st century in its fullness. So adaptation challenges our current way of thinking. It challenges everything we think we do and say, based not only in the name of sustainability, but in the name of resilience.
To order Sinking Cities on DVD, visit Shop PBS or call 1-800-PLAY-PBS. This program is also available on Amazon Prime Video.